Hello and welcome to the second episode of Summer Superstar. 5 top movies that you can watch with your kids, with popcorn and your own home theater system. Tentatively, I've put an age bracket of 6 to 12 years. You can do a couple of years ahead and back. But more importantly, what I'm trying to do here is with the vacations around, with the festive season around, I think your being there with your kid and then watching the movie together just enhances the entire viewing experience. In our last episode, the previous one, we took up on nature and we picked up some beautiful themes around nature. And I really love them because I've been doing a lot of surveys, talking to a lot of parents, going and reading a lot of blogs and then compiling these movies. Believe me, it's not easy because we're looking at a whole gamut of movies around us. And I've tried to minimize animation and tried to look at a lot of special effect and real character movies, perhaps because the choice is just awfully too good. So in the 4 genres we discussed, we did nature, this one is about fantasy, and the forthcoming season episodes will be about adventure and drama. You tell us any other genre you'd like to hear and I'll be more than happy to oblige. Don't forget to give me your recommended movies so it helps me in my research. So fantasy is a great world. It's a world that leads to imagination. All of us perhaps at some point we were fantasizing about being heroes. We were talking about being great superstars, flying around, saving the world. I think we all have done things around that we will be proud of. Or at least we've done singing around, isn't it? So fantasy is a message that we are looking at. And fantasy is a session that as you as kids can also look at what fantasy means to you. Now, before making it a big mess on fantasy, let's quick to my movie number 1 on fantasy, which is Water Horse. I think this legend of the deep, the Nordic tale about this whole, the monster of Les Nos monster that we heard about, the Icelandic gnomes, this movie captures it so beautifully. It's a movie about a young boy, Angus, who discovers a mysterious egg and grows up into the Loch Ness monster and how the relationship is formed. Angus is telling the story. In the very end you find out who Angus is, but the very beauty of the story is this giant of a water monster, this almost real-like horse. It gallops in the water, was actually a small baby that Angus found, he nurtured, he cared, at a little backdrop of World War when the bombs are flying in, and very similar I think to Free Willy kind of a story where finally the monster is almost free to go and this young boy hopes to see the monster again. This movie about friendship, about trust is one of my favorite movies for the summer, and I give it the Google rating, I call the Wiki rating. I looked online and 97%. I think it's a must watch if you love horses, if you love water, or if you are in a fantasy thing. I can only smile. I took a little view of it and I said I have to include one animation. It has to be the Ice Age, and among all the franchises of Ice Age I looked at Dawn of Dinosaurs. Why Dawn of Dinosaurs? Because just the amazing array of emotions, the character, and look at the eyes of Manny, Diego, Sid. Sid is the sloth, and as expected the laziest of all, but full of ideas. And in this twist of a thing, Sid is jealous or perhaps feels that Manny, which is the mammoth, is soon to be a father, and Mammoth is going through his own paternity kind of anxiety, but finally Sid wants to be father himself, and he finds 3 eggs, and these 3 eggs turns out to be the dinosaur eggs. Believe me, it's a roller coaster emotional thing. Where Manny and Ellie, the mammoths, are expecting the first baby. Diego doesn't want to settle down. The eggs will come out. Mama dinosaur comes searching for it. There is this whole one-eyed creature, perhaps another sloth of a creature which is living, a raccoon perhaps. They go into jungle of dinosaurs. It is 100% entertainment. I think I would love to see this over and over again. Despite my love for real character movies, I think this is way ahead of Good Dinosaurs and Jurassic Parks of our age. It's just fun. Ice Age is a movie to watch in hot summer. What can you learn around it? Oh well, I didn't even give you any lessons that you can learn. As a teacher, I've been using this, your vocabulary increases. Just the areas we look at. My dinosaur lessons, I can look into it. And of course, great many stories again on friendship, adventure, on becoming responsible is one message I can take about 100% entertainment, and that's the rating I'm going to give. One side point about Ice Age, the Dawn of Dinosaur, is that great teacher's note if you want to. You can go to Scholastic and go and Google Ice Age Scholastic, or else you can email us at Sky Education and we can share these notes with you. Great resource for you to watch with your kids or at school as an educator. Fine. So we've done oceanic adventure, we've gone to the Jurassic Age. What's my third part? It has to be something magical, isn't it? And what better magic than Harry Potter? I've said the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone, depending on which part of the world you're in, this boy has captured imagination like no one else. This round, bespectacled Daniel Radcliffe, the Harry Potter, the main protagonist of J.K. Rowling's world of magic, of witches, of the Hogwarts entire ministry of magic coming in, has taken the world by storm. And what is this? Is an 11-year-old orphan who discovers he's a wizard and invited to study at this magical castle called the Hogwarts. And now he enters a world where trouble is awaiting him. The boarding school has different wonders. I think anyone who can relate to the kids, the houses have no houses, the Gryffindor, the Slytherin, and then there's a whole array of characters. Beautiful. Owls are there, and Harry's owl, of course, then Ron's, I think the rat that we have. It's just an amazing area. The characters grow on it. What I like about the Harry Potter series is the beauty of it. You see these cute little children, now they aren't cute anymore. Of course they are wonderful, but they've grown up. Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, who is a muggle, her parents aren't wizards, and then of course our hero Harry Potter. And if you look at the subsequent movies, why did I choose this one? Because of the age group I'm talking about. The movies have become darker and darker, more sophisticated. So the Cursed Child is very different from the first one or the Goblet of Fire. And that is what I love about this. The concept introduced, which perhaps for my 5-year-old will be difficult, but my 12-year-old understand. And that's what Harry Potter has done. It has made you think about reading as a classic. And only on that one point, encourage reading the entire series. I salute J.K. Rowling, who doesn't need any kind of appreciation. She's very popular on the Forbes list of the best and the richest, and she deserves to be there. She's brought reading at school again, in our schools, in our circles, in our children's libraries. That's why 100%. Besides, there's some great lessons about the victory of good over evil, so Voldemort and how he's defeated, and also about the role of mentors. So you have Hagrid or Dumbledore, and believe me, these mentors are what I love of even Snape, as you talk about. I think as teachers, perhaps Harry Potter, what it has done is increase a little bond and relationship between student and teacher, and I hats off to Harry Potter, really 100% out there. Fine. We've been doing a lot of movies in a recent area. I thought, let me go a little to my kid. As I turn almost 40 now, yesterday in fact, I'm looking at a world which brought my imagination. And what was my fantasy? It was this movie. The movie that sparked it all. And I think I chose E.T. for two prime reasons. One, primarily because it was the first movie in a genre which talked about aliens and extraterrestrial and a world beyond. And number two, for Steven Spielberg, the man who has given us Jaws, who has given us Jurassic Park, who has given us Munich and Schindler's List, and War Horse. I think I'm in awe of this man, the director, the genres he's chosen. Lincoln, one of the all-time classic if an adult is listening to it. But let me come back and hold my emotions. What's E.T. about? Today's kids may find E.T. a little dull because of the footage. I'm talking 1980s movie. An alien is left behind on Earth and is saved by this young boy on a screen, young Elliot. And Elliot decides to keep him hidden. But when the task force starts hunting Elliot and E.T. down, now he has to form a bond with his new friends, the E.T., and this entire fraternity of young kids is doing a daredevil task. And one of them is the most beautiful poetic part of the movie, where the cycle goes up in and flying through. I said, with all the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Iron Man, this may not be as fascinating, but I purposely chose it for giving a little flavor to it. And if you have nothing else to watch it for the young Drew Barrymore's magic. I think that would be wonderful, wonderful. I hope you love this movie. I give it 90% only because of the tale, that it's a little old, but compassion, loyalty and care and trust is something I would love to look into this movie about. Where am I ending about? I'm ending with this amazing gala when E.T. was all about 80s. This is the most modern movie you can get, the Hobbit series. Of course, Hobbit is a whole part of the series, the three adventure series by Peter Jackson. And the beauty of it is, look at the cast, look at the array of characters, look at the way they have chosen about. But the whole movie is about the reluctant hobbit. Hobbits, by the way, are mythical creatures with big ears. Their feet are little, they don't wear socks or shoes, and they are big feet and they live in holes. This is Bilbo Baggins on your screen. He sets out on the lonely mountain with some great characters. So the dwarfs are coming in, and then the whole movie is about these combination, the series. There are three actually. The first one I suggested, which is what I say, you start with the unexpected journey, then there is this desolation of the smog, the battle of the five armies. In fact, this is a prequel to the Lord of the Ring trilogy. Hobbit, amazing series. You have this amazing character called the Gollum, you have this dragon called the Smog, and actually, if you know, it's a side point. This is more like a child-friendly version of Game of Thrones, isn't it? It has dragons, dwarves, think of Tyrion Lannister, and you have an entire army of dwarves here. The struggle of power, there is enough killing out there, good and the bad. This is a movie where kids need parental guidance, but watch it together, you love it. 97 only because of your being there, but this movie is really about complex emotions. It teaches you about the dark and the light. If you look at the Lord of the Rings, even Sam had problem throwing the ring away. And then this is a movie that will really, really create a world of imagination for your kids. Fine. I'm almost closing in. What I've got here for you? I've got two surprises here. I've shown two TV episodes which are worth watching, perhaps because I'm watching them at the current time with my kids, and I thought this must be shared with you. If you're on Amazon Prime, look at Young Sheldon. A beautiful take on science with this eccentric little boy who finds real reasoning, perhaps in subtle commas, falls with everybody, but he's so right, he's too technically correct. In fact, one of the best scenes of Young Sheldon is when he takes up this very popular book, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends, and he's trying to make friends through that. He gets one at the end of the day. And the second one, with my daughters around, I'm loving the Kick series, again an Amazon series, where this group of girls are being a part of a football match. I hope you enjoyed this entire fascinating series from Sky Education on the world of fantasy. Next time I'll come up with another adventure series. Till then, good luck and happy viewing. Bye bye.